It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Thank you for bringing us into the workplace, Billy Corrigan. It is Tuesday, June the 17th. Good morning, one and all. I am here with Fletcher.
Happy Tuesday. That feels like a Thursday, kind of, sort of, for some people.
Ryder also.
This is crazy!
Yeah.
Crap tons of storms yesterday. I was watching weather porn like all night.
Yeah.
I saw golf ball size hail. I heard about baseball size hail. Waconey, I hope you didn't blow away.
Man, I tell you what.
It was nuts.
It was.
I still am a fan of bunkering down. You know what I mean? You just close up everything, double check the locks, and just watch the world go by and just hope you're here tomorrow. I still enjoy a good storm, I'll say, as long as, of course, no one gets hurt.
Absolutely. It was like one of those days where I let the kids play outside because they wanted to be outside, yet I'm like watching the weather like a hawk. Should I bring them in? Should I bring it?
Sure.
No, yeah, it was crazy. It was nuts. We never got much of anything up in our neck of the woods. But thinking about those, it did.
You didn't even get a good downpour?
Got a little bit of rain. It actually mostly just dissipated when it got near us. It was crazy.
Oh, that's a bummer, dude.
It is and it isn't.
I was truly made for these times. You put me back in the 19th century, and I look up at the clouds and be like, "You think something's coming in?" I'd be like, "I don't know. I don't know. How does it work if I feel something weird in my spleen? That means a tornado's coming. I can never keep it straight."
Yeah.
Little house on the prairie, no thank you. Let's get into it. It is Tuesday. It is June 17th. I'm feeling Minnesota. Paul Fletcher, give me some headlines.
Well, Vance Belter appeared in a federal courtroom yesterday as he was formally charged. Prosecutors told the court that he had actually visited the homes of two other legislators, but declined to name them. He is accused of killing Democratic Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband and wounding Senator John Hoffman and his wife. Federal prosecutors say Belter embarked on a planned campaign of stalking and violence designed to inflict fear, injure, and kill members of the Minnesota State Legislature and their families. Belter also allegedly sent a text to his family early Saturday morning that said, quote, "Dad went to war last night. I don't want to say more because I don't want to implicate anybody." He told the presiding judge that he only has about $30,000 in savings and can't afford a defense attorney, so they told him that a federal defender will be assigned. He's facing 6 federal charges now as well, including multiple counts of murder and stalking, which could make him eligible for the death penalty. He's also facing state charges of first-degree murder, which I believe it was second-degree yesterday. So everything's been upped.
Just a piece of belly lint looking for three squares and a cot. That's all I got.
Sure.
I can't say anything about the guy without, getting myself fined by the FCC.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a cot would be good enough. Who singer Roger Daltrey has received a knighthood for his work with the Teenage Cancer Trust. Sir Roger said in a statement, quote, "It is a wonderful honor for me and especially for the Teenage Cancer Trust. I accept this award not only for myself, but on behalf of all the unsung heroes who have given their energy towards making the Teenage Cancer Trust the success it has become." The charity spokesperson praised Sir Roger for his fundraising efforts, saying, quote, "Sir Roger is a true inspiration and we salute him for enriching our lives with his brilliant human artistry and achievements." David Beckham and Gary Oldman were also knighted.
Daltrey, crazy as a loon, heart in the right place. Good on you, Raj.
I love that. Apparently, Gen Z wants to get it on while they're on the clock. Yeah, those born between 1997 and 2012 are doing the deed, or into doing the deed in, say, like a conference room, with many return to office mandates happening all over the country, but especially in major cities. According to a new survey, 29% of Gen Zers believe that working in an office can improve their sex lives, since being away from their significant other can make them miss each other more. However, 38% of Gen Z just wants a private space in the office for getting it on, either with a coworker or themselves.
Yeah, I want to lose weight eating nothing but Mexican food. What about it? Jeez.
Whatever makes you productive.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's the American way. We just need production. That's all we need. Whatever you need.
Sure. Fair enough. Can we talk about sports?
Oh, yeah.
I took a look at the St. Paul Saints pitching numbers so far and for this season, and, well, let's just say the cavalry ain't coming. We got to get our starters up, and we got to get our starters on the Twins healthy. They're in Cincinnati tonight. The Twins, a battle of two teams, a game over 500, 40% of the way through the season. If you want to see one of the true rising stars of the game, though, watch these next three. As Ellie De La Cruz, shortstop for the Reds, is a Hall of Fame trajectory type of player early in a season. He is astonishing. He's already setting a lot of Reds club records. He's on lists that include Johnny Bench, Frank Robinson, Eric Davis, names like that for things he's doing. Just real simply, watch their shortstop. He's special. Wow. NHL Stanley Cup Finals tonight, Game 6 at Florida. Panthers can finish this thing off. Hopefully Edmonton shows up and sends this bad boy to 7. I will watch any NHL Game 7 regardless of who's playing or what I have to cancel in order to do so. In the NBA, OKC last night beat the Michael Myers Indiana Pacers at home. A lot of people talk about the terribly low TV ratings for the series, which just goes to show you that great basketball isn't nearly as compelling as dramatic basketball. If you're into rock bands with good hair, this ain't that. If you're into singer-songwriters that lay it all on the line, this is the Alex Chilton, Jason Isbell finals. And if you don't roll with those guys, if you want to go watch Rat and Motley Crue, have fun. But this is great basketball.
Wow.
There, I said it.
Sign me up for the hair bands.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know my audience.
Okay. I'd rather have Cat and the Wolves battling it out, but we'll take it. You know, it is what it is.
NFL note, the vast majority of NFL players really prefer to play on grass. And now the NFL Players Association is planning to whip up a bit of a frenzy saying, guys, enough of this turf nonsense. Because every time an NFL stadium hosts an international soccer event, they bring in real grass. And the league is going, can we just do this for ourselves? And if there's one thing we can all rest easy knowing, it's that nothing will change. The NFL basically asks itself and its fans every year, since when does the slaughterhouse care about the hogs? Enjoy your sausage, America.
Oh, boy.
Finally, hey, I don't make the rules. I just comment. You know what I mean? 31 years ago today, retired NFL great Orenthal James Simpson went for a nice Sunday drive, if you will, in the greater Los Angeles area. And the American people loved him so much, we all watched breathlessly for hours, one of the highest rated events in world history. I don't remember why he was in a Ford Bronco, but anyway, it was great TV, wasn't it?
Oh, my God. I can't. Yeah, June 17th. Wow.
31 years ago.
Wow.
Remember it like it's happening right now.
You know
Woodbury, Minnesota. Woodbury, come on. Give it to me.
I love some Woodbury in the morning.
You know, they used to call it, it used to be called Red Rock. That was the original name of Woodbury.
Also a good name in the morning. You know, I love to wake up with a little Red Rock. I love to wake up with a Woodbury. This is me. What? I'm just saying.
Holy smokes.
Hey, science has finally proven something that I do believe we're all well aware of.
Yeah.
And that is that, too much work makes Jack a dull boy. Or if you prefer, too much work will break your brain.
Yeah.
It's true. A study has found that working too much is, wait for it, not good for you.
Uh-oh.
Working over 50 hours a week... I didn't even know that was humanly possible. Working over 50 hours a week can, in fact, mess with your memory, your attention span, decision-making skills, and consequently, it makes you moody. Go figure.
Oh. So it sounds like stress. It sounds like really bad stress to me, maybe.
Yeah, work-life balance, pshaw. Basically, this is what they came up with. When you work too much in a week, it changes, quite literally, the structure of your brain.
Wow.
Researchers scanned the brains of a bunch of healthcare workers. Well, granted, healthcare is a stressful situation anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were talking to guys who do radio in the morning.
No.
They're like, please, you need more stress. But they split people into two categories, overworked and not overworked. And the overworked brains all came in around 52 hours a week or more. And that causes significant changes in parts of the brain associated with executive function and emotional regulation. And I just realized my kids, when they were in middle school, were clearly overworked. Because executive function and emotional regulation took a long break in the Gorman house around those years.
I think that's so it sounds basically like going through puberty again.
Yeah, that's it. Adolescence, man. It's a trip.
So working too much turns you into a teenager?
Pretty adolescent,
much. Now I'm nervous because I definitely don't want to go back to that angsty BS. So what do you two think is the ideal number of hours to work each week?
Well, if you're talking about healthcare workers, let's train up a whole. You know what? It should be like hockey shifts. Get more people on there. Have 3 lines, 4 lines. Hell, go to a 5th line.
Okay.
Let's give everybody in healthcare a whole lot of breaks and keep them as mentally sharp and focused as possible. If it's us, we could do this for 72, 80 hours a week. Nobody would know the difference.
We only get 1 line in radio. We only get 1. There's no backup.
All right. I'm just saying we could probably, if need be, in a pinch. Let's say those hailstorms come back and we can't get out of the building and people can't get into the building. I put it to you. We could do 48 straight hours on the air, the 3 of us, and we'd be none the wiser. And by the way, no one else would notice. We would sound exactly the same.
How about the guy that's here 9 hours? Why don't you ask him instead of the guy that leaves?
Early.
It's
funny. I'll admit, I'm sorry. I don't know the janitorial staff by name, or else I would ask.
Oh, I see.
You ever been in one of those conversations with people and you're sitting around, you're at a bar or you're at someone's house, you're just having a casual chat and they're like, "Oh my God, man, did you see?" And they start talking about a movie that you haven't seen, and then you go, but you've checked your Twitter feed or whatever. You know enough of the talking points, and you're like, "Yeah, that was great." And then you say things like, "Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't remember it too well, but I know I liked it when I saw." Ever lie about watching a movie just to fit in? We all have, and I can bring it to you. The movies people most often lie about watching. We've all done it. That's in about 6 minutes and 2 songs.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning. Minnesota's 92 KQRS. The Pretenders right there. 2 records out in the early 80s, The Pretenders. Great band, great albums. And then in consecutive years, 82 and 83, they lost their guitarist and their bassist to overdoses. Both got half the original band died. They brought in some new guys. They put out the Learning to Crawl record, and all was well. I saw them on the Learning to Crawl tour. Okay. And several times over the years, people would say, "Did you ever see the Pretenders?" I go, "Oh, yeah, I saw them." And they go, "Did you see the original Pretenders?" And I'd go, because I didn't want to admit I'd never seen the original Pretenders. I would sort of bluff my way through the conversation. And the show I saw was ridiculous. They were great. It was incendiary and all the things you love a rock show to be. But I remember feeling like, I'm not cool. I didn't see the original Pretenders. And I can admit that now because I don't care anymore. But at the time, this was a big thing. And we've all probably had those conversations, not just about gigs and bands, but what about movies? What about TV shows? When you find yourself in a room or in a circle of friends and everyone's talking about, "Oh my God, have you watched Mad Men?" Or did you see Oppenheimer yet? And after a while, you're just like, yeah, it's awesome. And you just hope everyone will shut up because you haven't seen it and you don't want to admit it. Does this ring a bell, Ryder? Have you ever found yourself in this situation?
Oh, yeah. And it's especially people who are a little bit older than me. This one always gets them, never having seen MASH. I get a lot of crap for that, so I just avoid the entire conversation.
Are we talking about the movie or the TV show or both?
Either one. Yeah.
Oh, my. Wow.
I know. You got a little bit of an ulcer right now.
Yeah, that's right. and this is the second time, actually. You mentioned this a couple months ago. I clearly blocked it because it just hit me with a gut punch as much as it did the first time.
Because I know, and I don't want to dive down that hole because I'm never going to do it. I'm never watching this show or this movie. But I know that it pains a lot of people.
What if we could get it sponsored? What if we could get it where it puts some money in your pocket to watch MASH?
I mean, if you've looked at my bank account, there are very few things I won't do for money. So there we go.
Fletcher, what have you missed out on? Have you ever, well, first of all, not what have you missed out on? Have you ever acted as if you've seen something because you just didn't want to hear about it?
I think bands, movies, music, pop culture in general, I mean, especially through our 20s, right, where we're fighting for street cred amongst our peer groups, our friends, colleagues, etc. Yeah, absolutely did it. I don't do it as much anymore. No, I haven't seen it because, like you said, I just don't care anymore. But yeah, there was a time, 100%. I think everybody's done it at some point. I remember social acceptance.
Yeah, I remember very clearly when I was a college kid, I was at a bar and there were some girls that I'd never seen on my campus and they looked a little punk rock, which at the time and at the school I went to was like, oh my God, they look cool. They must be from a big city. Yeah. And we started chatting and we all liked the same bands. And it was me and these 2 girls, and I was like, look, and this is, my arrogant, 21-year-old boy brain. I'm like, I wonder which one I'm going to leave with. The answer was neither. But during the conversation, I remember one of them said, well, so you like the Violent Femmes? Oh, yeah. I saw them at the Cantrells, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, well, do you like Let's Active? Oh, yeah, Mitch Easter's a genius. We're going back and forth with all of our little indie bands in the 80s. And at one point, the girl said, what about, and she said something like JoJo and the Slaughtered Pork Rind. I mean, it was some ridiculous band name. And I started to go, yeah, I remember I heard that EP once or something like that. And I stopped, and for some reason, forever unbeknownst to me, I went, who? I've never heard of that. And they looked at each other, and she goes, yeah, that was just a test. And I was like, oh my God. And she was
crafty.
Open about it. And it was crafty. But then, of course, for some reason, I was like, you're not nearly as cool as I thought you were, trying to trick me. But the fact is, she almost did. I started going down that road and backed out for reasons I'm still confounded by.
You know what, though? They're kind of legit punk rock kids, though, putting a test on you like that.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? Like checking to see if your street cred actually checks out.
And so now, but movies is another big one, especially because, well, Ryder, you mentioned MASH, and I get it. It's hard to go back to a show that ended over
literally
40 years ago.
Literally the day before I was born.
Okay. Oh, my.
Literally the day before
smokes.
I was born.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that puts it completely in perspective. I'm not going to go back and watch something from 1965. That I've not already seen. If someone's like, oh no, really, man, you got to go back and watch. Well, I mean, Father Knows Best. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. So I get that. That makes sense. Movies, I think, are a little different because movies, at least back in the day, always carried more of an importance than. No one thought of TV as something that was relevant culturally over time. It was just there to sell soap.
But they're starting to think that with shows like Breaking Bad and
Oh,
stuff
of course.
like that. Walk into a bar and tell somebody you haven't seen Breaking Bad and then watch the fight ensue.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and I think
100%.
that's why a lot of people are lying about this. It's just because they don't want to go down that rabbit hole with somebody else. Not like they're looking for cred or looking to be cool.
Right.
It's just like, I am not interested in having this argument for the 897th time.
You know what, though? Humans also they have a fundamental need to belong. You know what I mean? It's social pressure, it's conformity, and I think we all do this in conversations. It doesn't matter what age you are, to a certain degree, we all do this. Just because you want to have that acceptance amongst other people.
Oh,
Sure.
man. Somebody just popped in on the text line. This one's looking for cred. 2 girls, 1 cup. Never seen it. Yes.
Never seen it.
Thank you
Happy
from-
to have never seen it.
Thank you from the 763.
Yeah.
I'd pay probably over $100 to have never seen it.
Yeah. And I would rather
really-
pay money to not be forced to watch it.
Yeah, I'd happily go back. And I will say that one I didn't see come. It was right. I mean, I was right at the cusp of it, and it wasn't my choice. And I was like, "What in the? Oh my!" And then all of a sudden, it was like a viral moment before there was such a thing. And I was the whole time. In fact, I did the opposite. I told people, "No, I haven't seen it. Don't want to know." And I had seen it, and it was just nauseating. So okay, Ryder, MASH. That's a TV show, and the movie's great too. But that's a big one. Fletcher, what's a big? Let's just stick to movies for a second. Is there a movie, one of those all timers that you've never seen that you think like I know it's ridiculous, but I've never seen it?
There are a bunch that I know I haven't seen. Nothing comes to the top of my head immediately, but like Apocalypse Now is one that jumps out to me that I get crap from people all the time. I've just never been one that's, I don't watch a ton of war films and violence, etc. And I think at some point I will break down and see it because I understand like how great it is and it's sort of its importance in the pantheon of movies. But I've never seen it. That's one I've never caught.
No, you're violence. If it's a Canadian and a Minnesotan on skates, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But,
That's not as grotesque. I can handle that violence.
okay.
Have
all
you
right,
seen
fair
them
enough.
have some of their teeth knocked out? I've seen hockey players with no freaking teeth, dude.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you know what? The thing is when you learn to skate at 3 and you're you know what I mean? It's just like you're normalized to it. It's been.
Fletcher, do you know Goon? Have you watched Goon?
Oh yeah,
Which
that's
I
a tough
love.
one. That's a tough one. That's a great movie though.
Yes.
I sat through.
But there is plenty of gore.
The cool thing about this is one of the cool things about streaming is that you can decide, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot, and you can just stop if it's awful, right, or if it's grotesque or whatever. And that one, Yes, it is pretty gross at times, but I thought they did such a great job. I stuck it out.
It's hilarious.
I stuck it out. Yeah, that's a great hockey movie. An underrated hockey movie.
But Apocalypse Now, those are actors. That's fake blood.
I know.
Hockey's
I know.
real blood. That's real teeth on the ice.
Yeah. I have. You know what though? It's so few and far between on hockey. I'm willing to take the risk.
All right. If you say so. Apocalypse Now, have seen it. In fact, saw it in the theater. I was in 9th grade, and my dad, oddly enough, one day, you want to go to a movie? And it was like a school night. I was like, what? Me and Dad went to movies. And he said, let's go see Apocalypse Now. And I was like, okay, cool.
On a school night? It's
wow.
freaking long.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. And I had never seen a movie that was that intense, certainly not in a theater. And so the first hour or so, I was totally there and paying attention. And I'm like, oh my God, this is such an adult film. This is a real, I'm 14, man. I guess I'm like a big guy now. By the time that damn thing ended, the final 45, 50 minutes of the movie, so bewildered and freaked me out. I was shut down, like emotionally and mentally. I'm not making this up. It was way too much for my brain to process. And we got in the car, and I remember my dad was talking as he's driving home, and I just sat there. I couldn't even say a word. I was so, and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm just tired. Yeah. And I got in bed, and I laid there for like 2 hours with the final hour going. I was like, what is happening? What did I just experience? And why did my father subject me to that? It's crazy.
You know what? You asked us. What about you? Is there one that you haven't seen that's like an all-time great?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, and I should have because
2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Yeah,
besides
listen, I've got the Criterion collection of that. I'll show it to you sometime. I've never seen Blade Runner. And that's current. I was in college when that came out. I totally should have seen it. And it's one of those where, and I know people that love Blade Runner, and I just never got around to it. And there were times when I said, yeah, I'm going to go watch it. And then I just was like, I don't care. I don't need it. But that's one that jumps to mind that I've never seen. There are certainly some few, but that's one that I'm still surprised comes up as often as it does.
Yeah.
Because the robots are finally coming to kill us.
Yeah, we should probably, you and I've never seen Blade Runner either. We should probably watch that just so we're educated and ready for what's coming.
All right, I can see that. 651-989-ROCK is the text line. Let us know. Hit us with a text. What have you not seen that you pretend you have? What have you seen? You know what? Let's do it. What have you seen that you wish you hadn't? 651-989-ROCK. We're talking about things we've seen, we haven't seen and we've pretended to see. Talking about things we've done that things you just want to fit in, you want to get along, you just go, yeah, it was great, I remember that, or a little fuzzy. I've said this, now that I'm thinking about it more, I've said things like, yeah, I think I saw it, but I think maybe I was drunk. Or maybe I was as an excuse to not really remember it.
I was definitely on drugs at that time.
My go-to is, I've seen it like once, but it was like way back when it came out, and I haven't seen it since. I'll use that.
See, I have to add more to it because anybody that knows me knows I have a stupid memory. Like I just remember everything. So,
you do.
So it's like I have to put a little. I was really jet lagged. I was on a plane. I was drinking port. I don't know. I'll just make up some nonsense. Ryder just gave a great one of recent vintage. Yellowstone. Man, people are so into Yellowstone. And here's a tip. If you haven't seen Yellowstone and want to fit in, I got one. Just say this. Yeah, man, that one, the woman with the red hair who's married to the guy from Dazed and Confused, she's crazy. And she's actually English. And then you're done. And then people go, no way, she is? Yeah, I saw an interview. She's from England. And then change the subject. There, just trust me, that works every time.
Yeah, so pro tip for Alex in Wisconsin, put that on the Facebook page.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right, good one. Good. That's a really good one. This text from Chris, and I'm on this. I can say the same. I've never seen The Matrix.
What? I haven't either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you guys? Are missing all the good sci-fi. No Blade Runner, no Matrix.
Missing all the good sci-fi. I've seen Star Wars.
I had a baby when The Matrix came out. I was busy. I was being a good father, damn it. I didn't have 2 hours to go watch Keanu Reeves not act.
And I have zero excuse whatsoever, I hate to say.
That's how that goes. All right, check it out. Let's go. We started this with the list of movies people pretend they've seen.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, number 3. Just give me the yes or no. Ryder, have you seen Taxi Driver?
Of course, yes.
Fletcher.
Travis, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
All right, very good. Glad
That's
to
a
hear
good
it.
one. That's a good one. I love that flick.
Yeah, I've absolutely seen it. Now,
Okay.
I've seen all these, the top 3. Now, here's one. This is we're going to separate the wheat from the chaff. Casablanca.
Absolutely not.
You haven't seen Casa?
No.
I've seen
And I could care
Casablanca.
less. I could care less.
Do you have any idea what it's about?
No.
Is there a romantic gene in your body?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah.
Do us all a favor. See,
Yeah.
now I'm doing it. See, this is why I didn't want to admit it.
no,
yourself. No, it's Casablanca. It holds up, man. I mean, it's
It holds
good.
up today still?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, it's incredible. Absolutely.
All right.
I have seen and
consider
could
it.
care less about Citizen Kane. I'll
What?
say that.
I've seen it. I thought it was way speedier and like there's a lot of stuff going. Orson,
Slow.
Come on. It is
Slow.
not slow.
You know what? I should watch it again. That's truly been a really long time. But okay. But number 1 on the list, the movie most people lie about, and I understand because if I hadn't seen this, I'd lie about it too. And I'm actually surprised. The Godfather.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that
want to
makes
get in
sense.
that fight if I hadn't seen it.
No,
It's-
Fletcher, you've seen it, surely.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah, multiple
all right.
times, yeah.
Okay, just
That's the
making
one
sure.
with the mob guy, right?
That
Okay,
one mob
then.
guy, yes.
Anywho. Hey, Back to the Beginning reunites Ozzy Osbourne with Black Sabbath in their hometown of Birmingham, England. It's one show. It's July 5th. This performance is the stuff of legend. There will be sets performed from Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Pantera, Alice in Chains, and literally dozens more artists on the bill. A pay-per-view live stream will let fans from across the world experience this historic farewell for themselves. Enter for a chance to win a free live stream ticket at 92kqrs.com. Let's talk conspiracy theories. Let's just dive right in. Because as a guy who normally likes to steer clear, I leave the tinfoil hats to the others. Some of these are right in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
If you've got a conspiracy theory that you want to share with us, please, by all means, 651-989-ROCK. Let us know what you think. But a few of these I'm running by for the first time. There's a great list of harmless, they say, harmless conspiracy theories. This is my favorite one of all time.
Okay.
Here's a theory, that Bigfoot is actually blurry in real life.
Wow.
It's not your camera.
Yeah.
The big fella's just blurry. That's all there is to it. Man, I hope that's true.
God,
I
that'd
really
be
do.
great. Just like show yourself. Come on, man. We'll grill for him. I mean, we'll lay out the meats and the red carpet for Bigfoot. Just show yourself.
I will never for 1 minute in my life believe that Bigfoot is real. I don't think there's a Sasquatch or a Yeti or whatever you want to call him.
Agreed.
But I really wish there were. I would love it. How cool would it be? Can you imagine turning on the TV and every network on the world is like somewhere in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan going, we can't believe we're showing you this. And then you actually saw a Bigfoot like in a parking lot of a Cub.
Better yet, what if he was
what
what if he was going down the highway in a white Bronco? That'd be even better. Hanging out, waving to people.
Totally into Bigfoot being real and especially being blurry. Now,
Do you
granted,
think Bigfoot speaks?
not in English.
Okay. Yes.
I'm fairly certain that that like I said, that's not true. I wish it were, but it's not.
Yeah.
This one, however, here's another one, and I'm going to come right out and say I absolutely believe this 100%. Trader Joe's makes their parking lot small on purpose so that they seem more popular than they really are. Now, I have been to Trader Joe's in 3 different states that I've lived in my life, and all I ever remember about them is I'm constantly bitching about the parking. There's never enough space, so I'm fully on board with that one.
It's and if it's the case, if that's true, it's really smart on their part. You know,
Brilliant.
it's just brilliant. It's like, marketing without doing marketing.
See, when's the last time you went somewhere and couldn't get a parking space and your immediate reaction was to say, screw it and leave? Now, after 20, 30 minutes, you might, but it's counterintuitive maybe, but when you can't find parking, you just ramp up the desire to find parking. It's like, by God, I'm going to get lucky this time.
I'll tell you what, side note, Costco on a Saturday morning, they could have the biggest parking lot in the world and then it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, no, there's no getting around that.
Oh,
And by
God.
the way, they took a tip from Trader Joe's because, boy, that one in St. Louis Park. Every time I get out of there without running over a pedestrian, I feel like I won.
Such a disaster.
Man. So, but okay. So now we're 1 for 2. I don't think Bigfoot's blurry. I do think Trader Joe's is brilliant, and they do that stuff on purpose.
Yeah.
How about this one? How about the Waze GPS app, which I use? I like Waze, and I like it because you can flag cops, you can flag stuff in the road, you can flag all kinds of things. Cops go on Waze, and they flag random police sightings just to keep people slowing down throughout different parts of the highway. I can kind of believe that, but I wouldn't know in Minnesota because nobody up here is on Waze.
What? I get them on my Google Maps. They'll be like, hey, there's a speed alert ahead or something like that. If cops are not doing this, they should definitely start.
They absolutely should.
Yes.
Well,
I'm telling you, if
but cops maybe don't want to do that because they want to pull you over and get that money.
Well, if they're going to stay put, but if they got to go somewhere else, yeah, they'll put it. But, if I got to leave, I got to go somewhere else, let's slow it down, folks. I'm going to act like there's a cop still here. I think that's what that comes from.
Yeah. And for decades, this radio station has joked about, cops fundraising and stuff like that. I worked at a station in Fresno. The highway patrol came in and somebody asked him about, hey, do you get irritated when radio people mention speed traps and all that kind of stuff? And the officer said, I freaking love it because not only do people slow down at the spot that they're mentioning, but they slow down in the entire listening area. So if cops aren't doing this, I think they should start.
And here's the other thing. I think that each cop is different, right? There's some that just truly want to protect safety, period, the end. They just want us to slow down. They don't care about fundraising or not. You know what I mean? But there are some out there that absolutely want to fundraise. You know what I mean? So it's just, there's a little bit of everything.
Okay. They got quotas.
By your logic, then they should both be doing this because it works.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so okay, let's call it 2 for 3. Now, how about this one? I've never heard this one. Harmless conspiracy theory, but it's good. It's good stuff. Lotteries, Powerball, Mega Millions, etc., are actually traps for time travelers.
What?
Oh, come on. Yeah, well, if you go forward in time, you can Google the winning numbers, go back in time, buy the ticket. It's a trap for time travelers. That's the whole point of their existence. So I like that.
Does it put you on a different timeline if you go back and then you win and then now you're getting into a loop?
Oh, yeah, you're offsetting the course of human history when you do that. So don't, listen, that $62 million after taxes might feel good at first, but you're changing human history. You just don't know in how many ways.
You're messing with the space-time continuum is what you're doing.
So then your future you never thinks of this idea to get the numbers, and now you're stuck.
Listen,
you just disappear into thin air.
It was established over 50 years ago that the space-time continuum is the sole proprietary possession of the great Leon Russell. Anybody else, just stay away from it. He's the master of space and time. Okay, so now we're 2 for 4. Okay. I can't go with that one.
Yeah, that sounds like a Christopher Nolan movie right there.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
How about this? Now, I love this. The big bread companies. Let's just call Wonder Bread and all the brands Big Bread.
Okay.
Not Big Oil. We all know what Big Oil is.
Yuck.
Big Bread back in the day paid toaster manufacturers to put in a setting that is too high, leading more people to burn their toast, leading more people to then have to purchase more bread. Yes.
I mean, yeah, that totally checks out,
That's America in one sentence right there.
So you're telling me if you burn your toast, you don't just suck it up and eat the burnt toast?
Yeah, absolutely.
You redo the toast?
No, I do.
Oh, no, I eat the toast.
Yeah.
I eat the burnt toast. But
take a knife and scrape off the black. Yeah, it is what it is. By the way, quick toast hack. If you like your toast crunchy like I do, put it on a super low setting. Go for until it pops up, then pop it back down. Do it again on that low setting. Then it doesn't come out burnt and it's nice and crispy.
What do you think I have time for this?
It doesn't take that much longer than just having it on a higher setting.
Sounds like an afternoon, man.
Every extra 30 seconds I'm not sitting on the couch is 30 seconds wasted. No.
God,
I'd rather just burn it in 40 seconds and get on with it. All right, so where are we? I like that one. So we're 3 for 5 right now. What harmless conspiracy theories are you a fan of? What do you actually believe out there? Come on, Scully and Mulder. Give me your answer. 651-989-ROCK. Get in there. And then we'll give you, there's still one that is inarguable, irrefutable, flat out, cemented in stone, and I'll share that one with you in just a few minutes.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the Morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Hey, we're talking harmless conspiracy theories. 651-989 Rock is the talking text line. Kim is on the horn and would like to share one with us. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Steve.
What have you got for us?
So I don't know if it's harmless because it's negatively affected my life personally, but I believe that the Mandela effect is actually an epic troll perpetrated by young millennials and Gen Z to gaslight Gen X. And case in point is
So,
publishers clearing.
Kim, real quick, what is the Mandela effect for people who don't know?
So the Mandela effect is where a large group of people collectively, supposedly misremember things. I believe they correctly remember things, but things that many people remember it one way, and then it's supposedly a different way, like the spelling of the Bernstein Bears, or whether or not Mr. Monopoly is wearing a monocle.
Okay.
But
And what's yours?
Case in point here is Publishers Clearinghouse. Every Gen X and older millennial knows who the spokesperson for the Publishers Clearinghouse is, whose face was on the envelope, who was going to come and deliver the check to you.
It was Ed McMahon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will, to my bones. Steve, Fletcher, you guys got to back me up on this one. Ed McMahon, correct?
100%.
Yeah.
Okay,
with you.
It wasn't.
What?
If you look on the internet, if you go to Publishers Clearinghouse website even, everything on the internet says that Ed McMahon is not now, nor has he ever been affiliated with Publishers Clearinghouse. And I know that the boomers don't have the technical wherewithal to clean the internet like that, so it has to have been the younger millennials and Gen Z.
Wow.
Because
it's right.
the only explanation is someone has cleaned the internet, because it can't be that we're all remembering it wrong.
It's right there. I just did a quick Google search. Ed McMahon was not an employee or spokesperson for Publishers Clearinghouse, which is a load of crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
There must have been something went down where Publishers Clearinghouse had to distance themselves from Ed. Maybe he was just caught tomcatting too many times and they had to run a clean organization. But this is news to me, and Kim, you've done my head in. Thank you very much for the call. We talked about movies people pretend to have seen. Another Mandela effect. You know, if the Casablanca, which me and Ryder are hip to, and Fletcher's yet to watch.
Here's looking at you,
Hip to
kid.
a movie in 1939.
No, post-war. Check this out. The actual line from the film, play it once, Sam, for old time's sake. He doesn't say play it again, Sam. One of the most quoted movie lines of all time is actually wrong. Okay, but here, conspiracy theories that are harmless. There's two, and I like this one.
I'm curious if it's the same two I'm looking at.
Starbucks baristas are told to misspell customers' names so that people, when they get their Starbucks cup and their name is misspelled, they love to post that on social media. And it just provides free advertising for Starbucks. If you've ever seen that, it's like, it's like, who could misspell Steve? And but then all that people really get is, hey, Starbucks. But here's the number one. And by the way, I will go to the wall. I will die on this hill that your phone is constantly hot, listening for keywords to target advertising. I have never questioned this. And in fact, once a week at the very least, this happens to me. Rosemary and I last week were having a conversation, and I don't even remember what we were talking about because it happens so frequently. And the next time I looked at Instagram, there in the Reels, bang, was an ad for a product I had just discussed for the first time in my life.
I believe you. You said something about assless chaps yesterday. Now they're all over my phone. Like ad after ad after ad.
Now they're all over your phone?
It's so this isn't your scrolling habits and your the algorithm getting you. It's listening to you all the time.
It was the phone being in the studio and Steve mentioning something about assless chaps, and now they're freaking everywhere.
Okay, well, first of all, the phone doesn't have headphones on, so it's impossible for the phone to have heard that. I call BS on all of this.
Today.
Absolutely.
I call BS on both of you on all of it. I think it's algorithms.
No, it's not algorithms.
It is.
I'm not searching for stuff that shows up in my feed. It shows up after I've spoken the words out loud. That is a fact. I will die on that hill. Make no mistake about it. 651-989-ROCK, taking your conspiracy theories all day. Good Tuesday morning. It is June the 17th, which means we are 3 days away from the June the 20th KQ Karaoke Cruise.
Yes.
Come on, get a lozenge. Start practicing right now. Get that throat ready to rock Friday night. We got a couple tickets to give away, and we would love to do that. And in order to do it in the way that we feel appropriate, we're going to play a little game we call WTF. Wisconsin, Texas, Florida. This is how this works. We're going to play you some news clips, 3 stories that took place in either Wisconsin or Texas or Florida. And then we will all have a moment to think and process where we think these emanated from. And then a caller who comes in with the correct answers will win the tickets. Now, ever since Ryder repurchased the Masters back, she's able to give her edition. This is Ryder's edition of WTF. Let's roll.
All right. So, and just remember, it can be a mix of any of those 3 states, but none of this crap is happening in Montana or Virginia. It is all Wisconsin, Texas, or Florida, any mix of those 3.
Okay.
First one, auto theft gone either really right or really wrong.
Good evening. I'm Public Information Officer Julie Martin.
And I'm Jesse Santero. Over the weekend, deputies responded to a call from a female stating that she was attempting to steal a vehicle from the dealership parking lot and wanted the police to know so she could do it legally. Take a listen to the 911 call.
Because I'm trying to steal a car that's not legally mine. So y'all gotta come make a report. I'm reporting this.
Deputies arrived on scene and observed 37-year-old Christy Lee Turman exiting the driver's side of the stolen Corolla. According to Turman, she was being trained in a game of black ops to steal a car, but called 911 in an attempt to make her carjacking legal. Turman was arrested and charged with trespassing. Her history includes a variety of charges such as petty theft, robbery, and aggravated battery.
So if I tell you I'm committing the crime, it's not a crime, right?
Well, but it was a training op, so
Yes.
I'm sure that there's got to be a loophole for that.
I think she wanted a Camry, and when she realized it was a Corolla, she just went and schizo and didn't know what to do.
She panicked.
All right. Here is the story about what I think is some excellent parenting.
This mother is accused of doing something that could have hurt her child.
That woman needs to think, the safety of her children.
A criminal complaint says Amber Schmunk was spotted driving near Hillcrest and Claremont in Saukville. The person who called police followed in concern. The caller said there was a plastic pool with a child inside on the roof of the minivan.
As a grandparent right now, I know that the kids have to be strapped in. That's just common sense. Yeah. To put a kid on top of a car is beyond ridiculous.
The complaint says Schmunk eventually pulled over and took her 9-year-old son off the roof and folded the pool and put it inside the van. She then pulled into her sister's drive. When police got there, the complaint says Schmunk said, quote, she believed it was okay as her father let her do things like that when she was that age. Police said she told them there wasn't enough room inside the minivan for the pool she had picked up. The complaint says she stated she had, quote, no way to strap it down, so she had her son climb on the roof to hold it down while she drove. She later told police she did strap the boy down inside the pool. No one came to the door at Schmunk's home or her sister's home for comment.
All right, so okay to have the kid ride on the roof of the car in a pool because she strapped him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, most kiddie pools are compliant. They come with seatbelts, right?
As long as they're strapped in, that's all that really matters.
Yes.
Good
yes.
God.
So then here we go. It is the Snuggle House story.
The owners of a new business may have good intentions, but the city has some concerns. A new downtown storefront already has a lot of people talking. That includes the city attorney's office worried about safety, licensing, or even potential assaults.
Still, that is not stopping a place called the Snuggle House, trying to teach the lesson that sometimes not only do we want a hug, sometimes we may need it. It's a story you'll only see on News 3.
Even just a hug for a couple seconds can release the oxytocin in your body and your brain, which has powerful effects to reduce stress.
And I was thinking to myself, man, that is such a good idea.
Yeah, we would go right into cuddling, like spooning on a bed. It sounds kind of crazy.
The Snuggle House will soon be much like what you see here from the Snuggery in New York.
I make sure they understand that it's not sexual.
Sexual, no.
Leave it at the door.
Healing, yes.
And this is going to be a therapeutic place.
Sexual healing, doubtful.
I want to be in love with the whole world. I want to be in love with every single person I meet. The lines could become messy, and if they become too messy, we would just end that client snuggler relationship.
Hannah Rohde will manage the place, and already she has a handful of professional snugglers.
Snuggle House is set to open, giving free hugs on the Capitol all day long.
I think some folks at the Capitol could use a hug.
I'm sure.
But hey, I've been in 16 years. Wow. Very open to a lot of different ideas, but I'm interested to see how people react to this.
How do you put on your resume professional snuggler? What's happening there?
I wouldn't even put that on a dating app bio, much less a resume.
If it goes too far, they'll sever the relationship with the client until the rent is due. Then it turns into a whorehouse.
It depends. What state do you think that would happen in? Do you think it would happen in all three of those states? There's the question.
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty good stuff right there, man. Wow.
Right.
All right, we gave you 3 stories. Ryder gave you 3 stories that took place in either Wisconsin or Texas or Florida. And apparently Dustin from Plymouth called in and has it all figured out. So, Ryder, let's recap and see if Fletcher and or I can come close to the genius of Dustin.
Well, the theme today is basically...
That woman needs to think.
That woman needs to think. So your first one is your auto thief who called the cops on herself. Wisconsin, Texas, or Florida? Who wants to go first? Steve?
I'm saying that's Florida all day long, the Sunshine State.
Wow. I'm a classic overthinker, and I toil over these things. I'm just going to go with my instinct and say Texas on this one.
Dustin, and kill your radio if you haven't, dude.
All right, I'm going to go with Florida.
Dustin, you are correct. That's one for Steve.
Yes.
All right.
Nice job, Dustin.
The next story, where the very good mother strapped her kid to the top of the car inside a pool because she's always about safety first. Steve?
That's got Scotty stamped and tattooed all over its ass. Wisconsin.
Really? I think that's just too wacky. It's got to be Florida.
All right,
Dustin,
we got one Wisconsin, one Florida. Dustin, where are you going, man?
I was going to say, it takes one to know one. That's got to be Wisconsin.
Damn it. God.
All right, there's 2 for Steve.
Well, the woman's name was Schmunk. I heard that, and I was like, oh, that's Wisconsin.
That's a good point. Good pickup on that.
All right, the Snuggle House. This business, which is going to just let customers snuggle with professional snugglers, Wisconsin, Texas, or Florida?
My first thought was Texas, and then I realized, no, absolutely not. That's just, there's certain things they do not allow in the Lone Star State. So I'm going to go back over to Florida yet again for the Snuggle House.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Florida as well and hope that I don't paint a white stripe down my back and get skunked.
Dustin, give him the bad news, man.
Let's go with Wisconsin.
You are both wrong.
Skunk.
Holy smokes.
I got
Wisconsin
skunked.
coming in strong.
Wow.
Yes.
A snuggle house in Wisconsin? That makes sense, I guess.
Dustin nails it and is going to be on the boat with us tonight. And I mentioned he's from Wisconsin, so I'm looking for some big drinking.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I won't disappoint you guys.
All right.
You've got a state's reputation to maintain, my friend. We're looking forward to seeing you Friday night. Well played, Dustin. Way to come in strong.
Wow. Yeah, he knocked it out.
Very, very, very nice. All right, time for some headlines because I'm feeling Minnesota, Paul Fletcher.
Vance Belter appeared in a federal courtroom yesterday as he was formally charged. Prosecutors told the court that Belter had actually visited the homes of 2 other legislators, but declined to name them. He is accused of killing Democratic Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband and wounding Senator John Hoffman and his wife. Federal prosecutors say Belter, quote, embarked on a planned campaign of stalking and violence designed to inflict fear, injure, and kill members of the Minnesota State Legislature and their families. Belter's facing 6 federal charges. Those are new, including multiple counts of murder and stalking, which could make him eligible for the death penalty. His second-degree murder in the state of Minnesota got bumped up to first degree as well.
It's just so little to say. Still, it's so fresh. I know the news cycle demands people constantly updating and new information. I'm just ready to sit and just stay quiet and just think about this. There are so many people suffering right now, and our hearts go out to all of you.
Let's just see how it all shakes out. The Who singer Roger Daltrey has received a knighthood for his work with the Teenage Cancer Trust, which has raised over $48 million in its 25-year existence. That's astonishing. Sir Roger said in a statement, quote, "It is a wonderful honor for me and especially for the Teenage Cancer Trust. I accept this award not only for myself, but on behalf of all the unsung heroes who have given their energy towards making the Teenage Cancer Trust the success it has become."
It's actually 35 years. That goes back to 1990, and I've been to two of those events, 2002 and 2004. Spent some time. Everybody turns up. Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, Oasis, Paul Weller, anybody who's anybody, Elton John in British mostly music shows up at least once in the spring at the Royal Albert Hall because Sir Roger puts the call out. It's a truly doing the Lord's work for teenagers who are struggling with cancer.
Which they never should be, and so that is definitely the Lord's work. Apparently, Gen Z wants to get it on while they're on the clock. They're down to do it in a conference room with many return to office mandates happening all over the country, especially in major cities. According to a new survey, 29% of Gen Zers believe that working in an office can improve their sex lives since being away from their significant other can make them miss them even more. However, 38% of Gen Z, they just want a private space in the office for getting it on with maybe a coworker or themselves.
I guess this is an advance in our society because when I was that age, I just wanted a nacho bar. It would have never occurred to me that maybe we can have a room to go, knock the nickels out of each other. So go Gen Z, right?
Yeah. If our boss is listening, we'd like some free snacks.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, really.
Purified water would be great.
I don't even need real cheese. I'll take the gooey crap they put on at the ballpark. Just
that
give me the
stuff's
nacho
even
bar.
better. That stuff's even better, man. That cheese. It is happening, my friends. One of the most exciting returns in sports history. Joey Chestnut is officially confirmed to compete in the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest. The greatest hot dog eater ever missed last year because there was a dispute over the sponsorship. He was sponsored by Impossible Foods, but Chestnut and Major League Eating have shaken hands and consider their beef to be over. Without Chestnut last year, the contest, I would just say it was embarrassing. The winner ate 58 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Joey's more like a 76 hot dog guy.
The one good thing about competitive eating is I think it keeps us safe from alien invasion. They realize there's nothing down there for us. We'll just go on to the next planet. The Minnesota Twins are playing bad baseball these days, ladies and gentlemen. They're in Cincinnati for the next 3 nights. Let's see. We're 2 teams going at it 40% of the way through the season. Both teams just a game over 500. Let's hope it's competitive. Looking around at the pitchers in the minors for the Twins organization, specifically those in St. Paul playing for the Saints, doesn't give me a big fist pump feeling. We got to get our pitchers healthy or we got to make some moves. Here's hoping another winning streak is just right around the corner.
Man, yeah.
The NHL Stanley Cup Finals tonight, Game 6 in Florida. The Panthers can finish this thing off. I'm hoping Edmonton wins so that we get a Game 7. There's nothing better. I'm a lifelong basketball and soccer fanatic, and I will say there's nothing better than a Game 7 in a Stanley Cup Finals.
You're also
hoping.
a lifelong NHL Stanley Cup playoffs Game 7 guy.
Oh, without question. Always. In the NBA, Game 5 last night, Oklahoma City knocked off Indiana. Halliburton, Indiana's star, clearly not 100%. He's not claiming to be injured, but it's pretty obvious something's wrong. This is done. I do believe the Thunder will take Game 6 in Indiana. It's been great, great, great basketball. The lowest rated finals in a really long time, which just means people love drama. But as far as an excellent display of hoops, not so much. And I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
I love it. The NFL Players Association is going to move to lobby yet again for grass in all their stadiums. That would be fantastic.
It's a no-brainer.
It's never going to happen because the NFL, the league that doesn't give guaranteed contracts, certainly doesn't care about your knees and your toes and your ankles. That's just how that works. I watch football. I live with the hypocrisy of knowing this is horrible for these guys. I don't care. I love the game. It's tough. It's a dichotomy that I'm uncomfortable with. until September, and then I'm like, hey, let's go.
All in.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
imagine being tackled and your knees just basically smashing concrete, because that's essentially
don't even want to imagine it.
Yeah, that's
They got
what
all
it's like.
That rubber junk that bounces up, though. They don't have any kind of cushion if they're playing on
Not
turf.
much. Not
And
much.
I just took a quick look. There are 14 stadiums in the NFL that do have real grass, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not like we got to start from scratch.
No, it's not. It's very true. It's not as bad as the AstroTurf of the 70s and 80s. It is
Okay.
definitely
It's better.
better. That said, grass is still the best. Final NFL note, 31 years ago today, former, at that time, running back O.J. Simpson went for a long drive in a Ford Bronco, a white Bronco driven by his buddy Al Cowlings, one of the most significant, bizarre moments in American history. It's hard to believe that's 31 years ago today, but that's what happens when you keep living. You look back and go, wait a minute, really? What a completely overly analyzed situation. There's nothing I can say that's going to add to it, but just the fact that we all remember, those of us who were paying attention, where we were that day, just like any other significant moment, watching that car chase and people scrambling to the overpasses to hold up signs, run, OJ, run. I mean, it was reality TV before reality TV had taken over our lives. Truly phenomenal. Plymouth, Minnesota. Plymouth, good morning out there on the west side of things.
To our new friend, Drinkin' Dustin, who just won those KQ karaoke cruise tickets, hails from Plymouth. Good morning, Dustin.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to seeing him on Friday night on the KQ karaoke cruise.
Bring it.
Thanks for being with us, Plymouth.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
I think Bigfoot is blurry. That's the problem. It's not the photographer's fault. Bigfoot is blurry. And that's extra scary to me because there's a large, out-of-focus monster roaming the countryside.
Oh, God.
Man, the late, great Mitch Hedberg right there.
He's so good.
Solidifying one of the harmless conspiracy theories we mentioned earlier, that Bigfoot is in fact blurry. That's a Hedberg bit. Several people texted in.
Did he start that conspiracy theory, that Bigfoot is blurry thing?
I feel like that's his. A lot of people texted in saying that's Mitch Hedberg. So I'll give it to him. I'll give him credit. He deserves it. 651-989-ROCK is the number if you want to share one of your conspiracy theories with us. We were talking earlier about a bunch of harmless, possibly true conspiracy theories, such as Trader Joe's always makes their parking lots too small so that they seem more popular than they really are. It turns up the heat to stick around and get that parking space because you got to get in there. It's all subconscious marketing, if you will, at work here. We had a call earlier in the show. A caller named Kim called in with to talk about the Mandela effect, and that is when there's a large group of people that all misremember something similarly. Okay?
Yes.
And she had a great example of this. And we all agreed with her that the world, that I jumped on board. I was like, I'm with you, Kim. We've all been proven wrong. And it was this. Apparently, a lot of people think that Ed McMahon was the sponsor, the spokesperson for the Publishers Clearinghouse. I'm one of those people.
Right. Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Of course.
We know
show
this.
up at your house with a check.
Yeah.
At halftime of the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And here is something that several people texted in, and then all of us went and Googled. It is true that Ed McMahon was never affiliated with Publishers Clearinghouse.
It's so crazy.
Seriously?
He was the face of American Family Publishers. Not Publishers Clearinghouse. I thought he was repping Coke. It was Pepsi the whole time.
Right. This is
knockoff.
This is sort of like remembering in Star Wars that Darth Vader said, Luke, I am your father, which is not what he said. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I mean,
Yes, he says, no, I am your father.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're losing Steve.
Yeah, that's fine.
As a kid whose dad answers the phone, Luke, this is your father, every freaking time he calls me or I call him. Yeah, I'm aware.
What just happened to me, it's similar to the end of what they now call A New Hope, when Darth Vader goes spinning off into the galaxy after that. That's what happens when we go Star Wars around here.
That's fine.
I'm not complaining. Trust me. Just I appreciate the heads up so I can tune out. Listen, so Ed McMahon never Publishers Clearinghouse, but again, American Family Publishers. And then I went, well, who was the spokesperson for Publishers Clearinghouse? They weren't really running massive TV commercials with a public face back in the day. However, lately, Marie Osmond has been hawking their wares. So really? I mean, many years after her last hit song, she still got the Publishers Clearinghouse gig locked down. So that's good news.
Yeah, that is good news for her.
I'm telling you, this is a legitimate thing where I was stunned to just discover that. And apparently it's been something people have talked about for years. I somehow missed the whole Ed McMahon Mandela effect. But yeah, so anyway, some of the other conspiracy theories that we're fans of around here. Here's a good one. The Area 51, it's actually a publicity stunt by the government to hide the real alien testing facility. They just dropped enough breadcrumbs so that everybody was like, it's Area 51. And the whole time they're like up somewhere in Wyoming going, look at those suckers.
You know what? I'm happy to be a sucker. I'm not buying it. I think there's just way too much activity going on there for it to just be a facade.
Okay, Fox, I hear you.
I mean, unless, maybe they're just doing clinical work.
Could be.
Maybe they're just filing, papers, and they're not actually doing any of that stuff.
Okay, how about this
possible.
One? All right, Fletcher, you have daughters, young daughters, so this is right in your wheelhouse.
I love this one.
The movie Frozen.
Okay.
Disney, the reason Disney put together the movie Frozen, maybe not the reason, but a great side effect, if you will, of this. They got behind Frozen, they built it up, and it was a worldwide phenomena. And the good news for Disney, beyond just the dollars they were generating, was that if you Googled Disney Frozen, you would get information about this movie and no longer taken to websites that are obsessing about the fact that Walt Disney froze his body for when science could reanimate him in the future.
I see. So it's all about the storefront, if you will, of Disney, not so much about, you know what, here's what I think. They had a movie and they said, you know what? Frozen's an appropriate title. Let's name it Frozen. So it's like it was a byproduct of a project they already had coming that they could also, bury the lead on Walt freezing himself.
I'm so tired of all this cryogenic rumor mill. I've got to someone go write a movie and get some of those hit songs. Yeah, write some of those hit songs and get some really talented people to voice that stuff. And
oh my God,
let's just get rid of this. Let's get this cryogenic thing out of the. Remember Mickey and Goofy? They're fun, right? Yeah, I can see the panic. I can see the Disney board freaking out.
Let it go. In my head 4 times a day for a couple of years. That was my life.
And now you're right back there.
Hey, that'll make you believe anything. That's like CIA. That's KGB business right there.
100%.
Put him in a room and play Frozen. Let it go on repeat. Talk about a Manchurian candidate. Good gracious.
I'll talk.
651-989-ROCK, the talk and text line. Matthew from St. Paul is on the horn. He's got something. What do you have for us, Matthew?
Morning. So I'm going to a doctor's appointment this morning, so I got this firsthand. Hold music. When you're calling up and they've got the hold music playing, it's scratchy and it's annoying and it's repetitive because they want you to hang up because they don't want to deal with you.
Yeah. I'm signing off on that one for sure.
That's smart.
Yeah, that's how
I
they
think
get you.
It's the same reason the call menu sucks and it takes you 10 minutes to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Having worked at a call center, can confirm they do not have enough people to handle all your calls and are counting on you to hang up. And if you can get your stuff done with the robot phone thingy, cool. But yeah, we need you to go away.
I read something that said if you throw out a bunch of expletives into the hold music or into the menu, it'll get you to somebody right away.
Yeah, but if you use those with a live person, they can hang up on you, no questions asked.
I mean when you're on hold.
Yeah.
Or going through the menu.
What was the other one that you had?
Uh-oh.
Well, the other one. Simple as that. You put on a suit, you're using your lint roller. I don't think this is a conspiracy at all. It leaves a film of glue on your clothes so that way you get lintier.
That's exactly right.
Yes, you do.
I've said it from day one, Matthew. The Martinizers are really calling all the shots.
No doubt about that.
All about the dry cleaners. Thank you, brother. We appreciate the call. Oh, man. I left those photos in a jacket that got martinized. A little in-laws reference for 3% of the population out there. All right, we're rolling through a Tuesday morning. We have just enough time for the last word. Look, you know you got to fight for your right to party. We've established this, correct?
Of course.
The Beastie Boys have been on the record for going on 40 years. You got to fight for your right to party. But at the same time, and it might sound counterintuitive, you got to know where the line is. Okay. Just a cautionary tale reminding you that in 1994, a guy named James Scott was sentenced to prison after being found guilty of intentionally causing a levee breach that contributed to 1993's catastrophic Midwest flood. Missouri, Illinois, whole towns flooded.
What?
He damaged the levee so that he could strand his wife on the other side of the river and continue to party without her.
I never would have ever thought of that.
And in case you're wondering what the penalty for something like that is, life in prison.
Wow. Jeez.
Life in prison. He's still in prison. He ain't getting out.
He's still partying without her.
Apparently so. That's right. There is a law in Missouri intentionally causing a catastrophe that results in you going away for a long time. So again, party on, have fun, but know where the lines are. Okay, there. Just a little word for the wise.
I think that's a good general rule for life. You know, just know where the line is with everything that you do.
Tomorrow on this show, Gorman in the Morning, we're going to play a game called Beat the Jock.
Yeah.
And we're going to give away KQ Karaoke Boat Cruise tickets.
I think we're going to have some extra tickets, so we'll get to play some extra Beat the Jock.
Oh, good.
No.
Yay. Just up the sweat level. My God.
Very nice.
Gorman in the Morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the Morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.